Well, the world is crashing. I don't know if people understand that, because in 1971, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. 1944, during the Bretton Woods Agreement, the dollar became the reserve currency of the world, but we made a promise to the world that the U.S. dollar would be as good as gold. The trouble is, as Andy Schechtman talks about in all this, is that we started fighting the war in Vietnam and the war on poverty in America, socialism. And we didn't have enough money. So we broke the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1971. Nixon took us off the gold standard, and that was the corruption of capitalism. They could print money rather than make work for money. And it's a macro world. And it's a very dangerous world right now. And the reason I mention all this is, 25 years ago when I read The Dollar Crisis, like I was walking in Borders bookstore and said, pick me up. And then Rich and I became good friends because, definition of intelligence, if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And then he came up with the corruption of capitalism, which I agree with, because 1972, I was flying in Vietnam as a Marine pilot, and I went behind enemy lines to buy gold. And today I own gold mines, silver mines. I own real oil. I don't have oil stocks. I own cattle. I own everything the Fed cannot print. So remember, when they say Bank of England and they say the Fed, they're the same things. And the English pound nearly took it. And the reason they had to start printing again, which is causing more inflation for the English people, is that the pensions are going to collapse. The same thing is going to happen to America, because it's already happened. People don't know that. That's who wrote the book, Who Stole My Pension, by myself and Ted Siddell, who's also going to be on one of the Rich Dad radio podcasts. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the most dangerous time in world history, but let me give you some bright news. In the Marine Corps, before I went to Vietnam, I was stationed at Camp Pendleton, where we had advanced weapons, guns and rockets, machine guns and all this stuff. We had to practice crashing 3 times a day. Now, crashing an empty helicopter is different than crashing a helicopter with guns, rockets, machine guns, and ammunition on board. But we practiced, and we practiced, and we practiced. So when it came 3 times in Vietnam, because the odds were, my life expectancy as a Marine pilot, gunship pilot, was 30 days. We didn't live very long. So if we practiced crashing, we had a chance of surviving. So I went down 3 times, and my crew and I came back home back in January 10th, 1973, only to get spit on and hit by eggs by little commie pinko hippies from the Woodstock generation. And here we are today. And there's no financial education in our schools. So that's why I listen to people like Richard Duncan, who sits in Thailand. He's American, and he can see the world, and that's his job, is macro. Most important thing you can do right now.